live on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to another episode of Navigating the Modern World with Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition live. Once again today from the San Francisco Bay Trail here at Bear Island in sunny Redwood City, California. It's about 71 degrees right now. It's a nice day. It's a gorgeous day. Not cold, not hot, just about right. A perfect day for a walk. And today I have another great topic to discuss today. Well, I said today twice. Wonderful. I'm in a fabulous mood today. Fabulous mood. Oh, by the way, I'm going to make a very special announcement here in just a few minutes. And I'm just going to wait for a few more people to pop on in. But in the meantime, while we wait, today we're going to be talking about why some modern men don't stay in their lane. Why some modern men don't stay in their lane. And I'm going to start off by saying that's really a sad topic to discuss because throughout the history of time, since the inception of time until I'd say maybe the last 20 years or so, maybe 25 years, I have never seen so many men get out of their lane and stay out of their lane. And you have to understand, this is a figure of speech. It's another way of saying, hey, this is the right time to insert myself in a situation, or this isn't a good time to insert myself in this situation, especially if it involves another man's business or another woman's business. But in this case, today I'm going to be more so presenting this from the man-to-man perspective because it's a big issue nowadays. It's a huge issue. And I understand that this topic is going to trigger a lot of men, but it will only trigger you because the truth hurts. See, if you're a man that stays in their lane and you're an emotionally strong and stable man, this stream today will not trigger you. If you're a weak, immature, insecure beta male, it's going to trigger the shit out of you because you don't know any better, because you haven't learned what embodies masculine energy yet. You think you have, but you haven't. And there's nothing wrong to not be there yet, as long as you're working towards getting there and understanding why you're behaving in ways that lack masculinity. Now, you might say, Eli, well, before we go any further, let me wait for a few more people to pop on in here, and then I want to make an announcement. Just a brief announcement at the top of the show here. Whew. The sun is right in my eye. I'm laughing because there's a lot on my mind, and I'm just laughing at things. Let me put it to you that way. Because, man, life is interesting. Social media is interesting. YouTube is interesting. You know, there's a lot of stuff on my mind. And it's making me laugh because it's rather comical. It's rather comical. All right. You know, it's even more comical. I'm not going to say what's even more comical because it doesn't need to be said. You know, it's kind of like some videos I've talked about this in the past where if you're a man, you shouldn't be sitting by the phone waiting for your phone to ring by your girlfriend or by any woman. You just need to go on with your day, and when she calls, she calls. Because sitting there waiting by the phone is feminine energy. That's what women do. It's more so normal for women to behave that way. It's not really normal or masculine energy for men to behave that way. And I say that because there are lots of people on this platform here that are just sitting there waiting for me to go live, waiting for that notification. And they dedicate their entire weekend to waiting for that notification or waiting for that call. It's comical. It's absolutely comical. So, let me make my announcement here, which, you know, some of you are going to understand, some of you won't. So, I talked with Dawn earlier today, and we both decided together. I brought it up, and she completely agrees with it. It was her choice, but I brought it up, and I said, you know, I don't think we should even mention you on my shows indefinitely until further notice, and that could be 6 months, could be a year, could be whenever you decide to come back. We both decide to have you come back, then we'll make an announcement down the road. But effective immediately, I will no longer be mentioning my girlfriend Dawn on these shows. I will not be mentioning her family. I will not be talking about my family or anything like that. I'm just going to be sticking to topics and sharing my personal experiences, independent of my girlfriend Dawn, her family, and my family. It's a decision that we decided to make today because I care about Dawn's mental state, and I don't want to contribute any negativity towards it. And it's unfortunate that there are people on this platform that will ruin it for everyone else because they like to spin things way out of context or flat out lie about things. And so here's the thing. We're just not going to talk about it anymore. And if you want to keep talking about what you think is going to happen in the future, then it'll all be made up. You can sit there and try to guess all you want, for all I care. I mean, I could go into more detail, but I won't. I've had a lot going on, and so has Dawn, and got a lot of things to deal with outside of YouTube. But it literally takes 5 minutes to go through and see what the usual suspects or culprits are doing. And it's just really, really sad that you want to dedicate this much time and try to figure out what's going to happen in my relationship or pretend to try to figure it out to entertain your audience. It's really sad, right? And I'll tell you soon, it's going to get even old to an audience that continues to watch you folks talking about us. I've had a lot of clarity sink in since yesterday's show, which is still publicly available. No shame. And Dawn's had a lot of clarity, and we've just learned to accept and understand that's how some people choose to be. It's their choice. We can also choose to not share certain things or not share things at all when it comes to Dawn, for example, or our families. Because the sadness is, or the sad thing is, which is what I'm trying to say, is that everything that I try to put out of my mouth is meant with good intentions. And these types of people, they know that. They know my intentions are good. But because they have an audience of people that will only come around if they're attacking me, they got to take my words and twist it into something their audience will like. And I don't know how much longer you're going to enjoy doing that, but you know what? Do what you got to do. And I'm going to do what I have to do. And what I'm choosing to do is not talk about this. And I enjoy talking about my family and my girlfriend because I love my family and my girlfriend. And if I want to tell my girlfriend I love her every 5 fucking seconds on this show, that's my prerogative. Now, I wouldn't do that because I'm not that needy of a person. And that would sound pretty fucking pathetic. But if I wanted to sound fucking pathetic, that's my choice to do so. I don't give a fuck what you think. All that matters is how I feel and what I think. And the people that actually support us and respect us think, right? Now, if you actually do care about Dawn, which pretty much most of the people regarding the audience of a certain group of people that keep twisting my every words about my relationship and what I do out here, right? If there's a few of you that actually care about Dawn, because I know most of you don't give a shit about Dawn, you're using Dawn to try to get to me, which makes you folks even more fucking pathetic. And don't sit there and tell me that you care about Dawn. That's bullshit. You care about lining your pocketbooks with donations. You care about, for some reason, trying to one-up me when I've never tried to one-up you, and I never will. You care about staying relevant on YouTube or whatever, right? I get it. I understand. But maybe it's time to turn the page. Maybe it's time to focus on something new instead of the same old shit for the longest time. And I'm not just talking about one man. I'm talking about the entire group of people that make content on me. I could sit here and say I'm really disappointed at your behavior and the great lengths you're going to keep your audience happy when you know deep inside I'm a good person. I'm really disappointed. But hey, it's like Howard Stern. He's an asshole on the radio and he's the nicest guy in the world once he leaves the studio, right? And I'm sorry, I just can't play both sides of the fence. I'm not wired to be that way. Maybe some of you on the other side are wired to be one way on the air and another way in real life. But that's not who I am, and that's not who I choose to want to be around. More power to you. Take it easy. Again, there'll be no more talking about my girlfriend Dawn, her family, or my family when I do these shows indefinitely. If I decide to change my mind down the road, I'll talk about it with Dawn and we'll figure it out. But I put this out there because I want people to know that Dawn is fine. And if you ever want to know what's going on with Dawn during this hiatus period of not talking about her or her being on here or talking about our families, you can always email me at eliasmelas at genuinenetworkingassociation.org. That's Elias Melas at genuinenetworkingassociation.org. The email's below in the description, or you can go into the About section of the channel if you're on a laptop or desktop. If you're on a smartphone or mobile device, it will not show up in the About section. You need to go below in the description of this video. And you'll see there Elias Melas, ELIASMELAS at genuinenetworkingassociation.org. Elias Melas at genuinenetworkingassociation.org, not .com, .org. We are an organization. I do have the .com as well, but the .com is redirecting to the .com on the website's redirecting to the .org. More information on the GNA and Genuine Networking Association website coming soon. I'm working on some things. I'm transitioning some things. I had some server issues with my web hosting provider that I've been with for, oh Jesus, how long have I been with them for? It's been like 10 years now. But everything's been resolved, and I just need to make some changes to the website. I'm going to be getting to that soon. All right. So that is that. So let's talk about the topic here, okay? episode number 832 of Walking with Purpose Live. Why most modern men don't stay in their lane. Why most modern men don't stay in their lane. Let me give you all a little context regarding this topic here, okay? When it comes to men, okay, and women, right? There's a guy code where you don't fuck with another man's woman or fuck another man's woman, right? The number one cardinal rule for men amongst men is don't mess with our woman. Because when you mess with our woman, you're messing with us. But here's the thing. Even though I've had people mess with the women I've been with before, other men, and currently there are some men messing with my women, primarily online here, not in person. Everything's fine in person, right? I'm not going to threaten anyone, and that's not the whole point. It's not masculine energy to threaten a man that is messing with your woman. You don't threaten people, period. But there's nothing wrong with defending your woman or protecting your woman from these types of men that are trying to intervene in your relationship. But let's talk about why do some single men in the modern world intervene in a relationship or intervene with a woman that's in a relationship with another man. Okay. First of all, whether us men like it or not, all women have guy friends, right? And no matter what you say or do, they're going to have guy friends. So you got to accept it. And I've grown to learn to understand and accept the fact that as long as the friendships that, say, Don, well, I'm not going to mention Don again, I forgot. Let's just talk about, you know, other women in general, right? As long as other women in general, I'm sorry, I got to get used to not talking, because I'm used to using certain things for example purposes, so I'm going to switch it up a little bit, okay? So other women, as long as other women that are in a relationship with a man are strictly platonic with other men, and those other men are not trying to get with your woman, there's nothing wrong with women having friendships with men. There's nothing wrong with men having friendships with women, as long as, in this case, I will use the word I don't like that much, boundaries. As long as you have the boundaries set that, hey, this is strictly a friendship, I'm happy in my relationship. Now, here's the thing. When you're friends with the opposite sex, even when you're friends with your same-sex friends, right? There comes a point in time if you're in a relationship, there comes a point in time if you're in a relationship where if you spend too much time with any of your friends, whether they're same sex or opposite sex, you're taking time away from your relationship, and you're depriving your own relationship of the time it needs, and you're giving it to friends instead. And if that's the way you roll, in essence, you're basically telling your partner that you're really not into them, and you're prioritizing your friends over your relationship, which you should never ever do that. I would never do that, ever. So nothing wrong, for example, for a woman to be friends with a man, with another man. Now, where the problem may lie is that man that she's friends with may cross certain boundaries that are going to set off red flags in the man that she's with, right? It would definitely set off red flags for me if, you know, some dude was friends with my woman and he's taking up so much of her time, more time than she's able to give to me, right? That's just an example, okay? Now you have to also understand a lot of men nowadays, especially the millennial men. I talk a lot about the millennial men and some of the Gen Zers and even some of the Gen Xers, right? I'd say, men nowadays between the ages of 20 and 50, right? Maybe even 55, right? Many of them were raised differently. They were raised with more feminine energy than masculine energy, or they came from a broken household where their mother was raising them as a single mom and they didn't have a father figure, a masculine father figure, right? Or they had both parents and there was abuse. Maybe there was abandonment issues. A lot of men that you see nowadays have either been massively abused, are dealing with abandonment issues, or have been raised to be a softie. Because maybe they, like I said, maybe they just had their mother raising them instead of having a father, or even if the father was in the picture, the mother was the more dominant one in the relationship and confused the child, right? So a lot of these men are very, very sensitive. They're very, very sensitive. They're like pansies. Right? They act like little girls. And when you try to reason with them and call them out on their BS, they get very, very emotional, like girls do. Right? A lot of these men on YouTube, what do? When you call them out on their BS and you try to help them, what do? They can't contain their emotions because they're weak and they're insecure and they're needy. And they're exuding more feminine energy than masculine energy because the way they were raised, there was something lacking there. And they're traumatized. And instead of, taking good advice from experienced people like myself, they end up playing the role of the victim. Right? And they react and overreact just like women do. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to women. Women at a natural and biological level are going to react to everything emotionally first based on how they're feeling in the present moment. That's normal for women to a certain extent. Now, there comes a point where if women are extremely emotional, that can be abnormal. But for the most part, women reacting and responding to everything emotionally first based on how they're feeling in the present moment is normal. For you men out there, it's not. So if you're a guy out there that can't handle the truth when you get called out, and you can't accept responsibility and say, yeah, dude, I see where you're coming from, and I apologize, and I'll work on doing things better. And instead of saying that, you go on the attack. You go on the attack, and then when you can't get to that person, then you try to get to him by trying to get at his woman. That's a big B move. Let's just say B for female dog. You know the BITCH word? That's a big B move. A female dog move, right? You see, guys like that are BITCH made, right? Guys like that are B made. And this is with no disrespect to women. I think women understand what I'm talking about. And if you as a man are getting severely triggered at what I'm saying right now, and let's say you're triggered and you respond to this video triggered, you're only further proving my point. In essence, I want you all to respond to this video, to this stream. I want you all to respond to it and attack me. You know why? Because you're going to be only further proving my point. So if you want to prove me wrong and prove how masculine you are and how strong you are emotionally, right? Then let shit go. Be a man, let shit go. There's so much shit I've had to let go, including lately. Now, sometimes things are going to get to us every now and then. I had some moments yesterday where I felt like talking. It had been a while. Every once in a while, it's going to happen because in this world, you're always going to have people coming at you, online and offline, right? And for the most part, you should be ignoring it and focusing on your own stuff, your own thing, right? But some people keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and every now and then, there's nothing wrong with taking one day and giving people a piece of your mind. But then you got to get right back on track. And I'm not saying I was off track yesterday. I thought my show was pretty damn good yesterday. It was spot on. But yeah, I'm doing the full trail today. I have plenty of time today. Came out here earlier. Mm-hmm. All right, give me just a second, folks. Okay. So here's a real life example. And I'm going to talk about one of my former friends because that's not my family or anyone else that I'm not going to be talking about. You know, my former friend Brett, and I've shared this story a few times in the past over the years. this is a good time to bring it back up again because, again, like I said, there's such a thing called guy code where you don't, especially if you're like a best friend, you don't want to intervene in your best friend's relationship. And I never did that. Intervening is actually trying to talk to his woman for whatever reason, whether you're trying to steal her away or trying to give her information on your friend, right? I've never done that. But in my younger days, with my former best friend Brett, we ended up living in an apartment together for a year. And he was dating a lot of women after high school because he was hurt. He didn't want to commit. He was just dating 4 or 5 women at once. I'd see these women come in and out of the apartment, and I had one girlfriend. Even my girlfriend was like, "You're not seeing a bunch of other women behind my back, are you?" I said, "No, God, no." I was laughing because it's like, I don't condone this, right? Like, I don't condone it, but that's how Brett was. Hey, ODN, how are you doing, bro? Welcome to the show. Great to see you here. So, Brett was dating a bunch of women. He didn't get serious with any of them, but there was one that he met that really started to like him, and he kind of liked her. She kind of grounded him, introduced him to her parents, and he really liked her parents because, his parents were okay, but like her parents were just really good parents, right? Really cool people, right? Hey, Tia, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. Great to see you here. Thank you for being here. So, Odian says hi, Tia. Give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, we are back live. We are back live. Nucky Thompson's here. Hey, brother, just checking in before bed. Finally caught a live stream. How are you? Doing quite well, man. Thank you for being here. ODN says hello, Nucky. Oh no, I jinxed it. He will be back. Hi, Nucky says Tia. Nucky says hi, Tia. All right. No, I just went offline just for a second. I wanted to check my my battery meter. It's all good. So, my friend Brett met this woman, and she was just really, really needy and insecure, and she wasn't the most attractive woman, so she was just happy to land a guy. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just keeping it real. Whatever floats your boat is all good, right? Whatever makes you happy for yourself is all good, right? And, my friend Brett really liked her family, but also still wanted the variety of PUSSY. He still didn't want to give up having multiple women. So, God, man. I mean, I was never like that. If I was ever like that, my thing would have probably fallen off by now. God. I'm surprised this thing is still intact. I guess at least I think it is because I haven't seen him in ages. Renegade. Tia, when was Renegade's channel started? Can you check, please? Yeah, let me know when Renegade's channel was started, Tia. I'd appreciate it. Thank you, Tia, says Nucky. Hopefully talk to you again soon. Good night and God bless. You as well, Nucky. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for your great comments. I appreciate it. So Tia, I'm sure Tia's checking out when Renegade's channel was started. There's 3 people at the observation deck, so I'm just gonna turn around. Yeah, so Brett didn't want to give up the other women. And when you're dating a bunch of women and dating one, you are a bandit. 9 years. Oh, who's bandit? I don't know who bandit is, but you've been around for 9 years, so that's cool. That's some longevity. Welcome. I don't remember who bandit is. Were you a different account at some other point in the past, or no worries? That's cool. You know, hey, we'll see how it goes. Hey, as long as you're cool, welcome. We like to keep it clean around here. So anyway, after a while, Brett's girlfriend, she started to get a little suspicious if she was the only one. Now, I knew that Brett was banging like 4 or 5 other women, but she was the main girlfriend. And I felt bad for her, but at the same time, she was so needy and insecure that she hardly ever let me spend time with Brett. You know, any free time Brett had, she wanted to be with him. Which I can understand that to a certain extent. But you gotta have a little time to spend with your friends, or you gotta have a little time to breathe as a man in a relationship. You know? But she had reason to be concerned. And she put me in a pretty bad spot. She got my number from Brett's phone and called me one day out of the blue. Left me a message and told me to call her back. It's urgent. So she made it sound like there was an emergency so I could call her back. And then once you're on the phone, if you don't answer her questions, then she's going to assume the worst, right? I swear to God, this, well, women are good. You ladies are world-class manipulators, right? And I was like in my early 30s at this point. I was just beginning to really better understand women's emotions and manipulative tactics to get answers. I'm a lot better today at reading, women's manipulative tactics, but back then I was getting kind of okay. So I kind of knew what she was doing. So she calls me. I didn't recognize the number. Leaves me a message. I call her back. I said, "What's going on?" I said, "I have a few questions to ask you about Brett, and I need you to be honest with me." And the moment she said that, I knew she was going to ask me if Brett was cheating. Now remember, guys have guy code. But there's also morality involved. And I've always been big on morals, values, and ethics, even in my early 30s and younger, right? She put me in a really bad spot. What do? Do I just tell her that my best friend is banging 4 or 5 other women, and then, cross the line with my friend? Or do I lie and feel really crappy because of my morals, right? And then we have these things called white lies, and I've talked about those before. Anyway, it's just a really shitty situation to be in, right? I didn't like being in that situation. But number one, Brett put me in that situation. Number one, by being my friend, by living together, and by dating multiple women and then trying to settle down with one while banging others on the side. And and then on top of that, leaving his phone accessible while he's sleeping at his woman's place, to the point of where she can go on the counter or the nightstand, grab his phone. And remember, back in those days, phones didn't lock. Like, you open up that phone, you could scroll through numbers and shit, right? And a whole lot more. There's more of the story, right? So, good evening, Eli and everyone. Hey, Barry Repair Guy Raleigh, how you doing? ODN says sup, homie. TS says hi, Raleigh. Yeah, welcome. Great to see you here, man. Thank you for being here. So, when she asked me if Brett's cheating on her, I told her I have no idea. I hardly see Brett. He's either working or he's with you. Yeah, but he hasn't been spending as much time with me lately. Well, I don't know what's going on. Well, actually, I do. He's going out with other women. He's told me. But he was never home. Most of the time he was going to these women's places. Sometimes he would bring them over, right? And anyway, hey, my online 365, welcome. So yeah, I told her, I said, I have no idea. I don't think he is. I had to play it off, right? And I felt really shitty because I don't like to lie. But I was put in a position where I didn't want to cross the line with my friend, and I didn't want this woman, to go through something like that, right? And I really wasn't too fond of her because she was so needy, like I said earlier, and insecure, that and kind of controlling to the point of where, like, I never got to see, I never got to see Brett once they started dating. Like, we never got to hang out anymore. And at that point, I realized you get older in your 30s, it's just going to get harder to see your friends. People are going to settle down. They're going to get married, have kids, etc., right? Shit happens. So I told her that, and she kept asking me over and over again for like 30 minutes, and I told her, I don't know. I don't think so. Why don't you talk with him? Well, I have, and it's just, he's telling me no. Well, obviously, if you're talking to me, then you don't believe him. Well, I want to know if you know something. Well, I just told you I don't. And inside, I felt shitty. But here's the thing. In that situation, you gotta deal with guy code. Like even if you're a good person like myself and you want to do the right thing and you don't really like what your friend is doing, it's really not your place to intervene. It's not your place to intervene in any man's relationship. If you're a man that intervenes in any other man's relationship, his woman reaches out to you for information or tries to get with you or whatever, if you try to intervene in any way, shape, or form, then you're just a piece of crap. And you're a very insecure man that's struggling to do things the right way. Right? So what ended up happening? What ended up happening is once I got off the phone with her, I called his phone and I left him a voicemail and I said, dude, your woman's calling me asking me if you're cheating on her. First of all, how the hell did you get my number? Probably from your phone. Second of all, you are cheating on her. And dude, either you gotta make a choice, dude. Like now she's getting me involved and I don't want to be involved in this. It's already bad. I told him it's already bad enough we hardly spend time as friends anymore. But now your woman's calling me and putting me in the middle. And then your actions are also putting me in the middle too, right? That's the right way to handle it, maturely, right? I handle it maturely. Unlike some other dudes out here on YouTube that are beta, B-I-T-C-H-E-S. Yes, you are. Especially if you keep overreacting like a little girl. Right? So yeah, I try to handle this maturely with him. I let him a message, private message, right? So, lo and behold, the very next day, his woman goes on his phone when he's sleeping again and is able to access his voicemail because back in those days, I had a Nokia phone. We all had like Nokias or Motorola Razors and stuff. I never had a Motorola. I liked Nokia, but Motorola made great phones too. Basically, you open up your phone, and if you wanted to password protect your voicemail, you had to add a password to it by going into your voicemail and telling it that you want to set a password. Which most people did that, right? But Brett had no password on his voicemail. So his woman goes right into his phone. And then you either hit like the voicemail button or you dial star or something, whatever, right? There were codes back then, right? Now, we're all spoiled with these smartphones nowadays. But back then, there were codes or you hit a button that says voicemail, right? And it would just automatically call into your voicemail and automatically start playing your messages. To play your messages, press 1. To skip to the next message, press 2 or whatever, right? So she went in there and she heard my message to him. He didn't even delete the message. No password on the voicemail, and didn't delete the message. Now, granted, what he was doing, cheating, is wrong. So, you know, it had to it had to come to this point at some point, right? So what happens? She kicks him out. He comes home the next day. I think it was like Sunday. I think it was a Sunday. Comes home. He goes, "Well, my lady and I broke up. Why? Because of your voicemail. She heard your voicemail saying that I'm cheating." Well, how the hell did she get into your voicemail, dude? Well, dude, I didn't have a password on it. Well, that's your problem. He was pissed, right? He was pissed. But the moral of the story is this. I never crossed the line. I never intervened in their relationship. And any man should never intervene in another man's relationship with his woman. The biggest guy code on the planet is the women are off limits. It's always been that way, right? You never attack a man's girlfriend or a man's wife, right? And if you do, you're just opening it up to one big, massive shit show, right? At the same time, you never try to weaponize a friendship you may have with your friend's woman, right? You never try to weaponize your guy friend's girlfriend against him as a third party male friend. You don't do that. That's a bitch move. It is. It's just a very, very beta, non-masculine move, right? And only men that are immature, insecure, and unhappy that they were called out on their BS react that way. Hey, Just Amanda, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. Hey, Amanda says my online 365. Hey, Eli, and everyone says Just Amanda. TS says hi, Just Amanda. Just Amanda, I think you did the right thing. You saved that woman a lot of future headaches and heartaches. Well, you don't know. There's more to the story. The story. Well, I'll share the rest of the story again because it's so funny. But give me a second. Let me get through the chat here. Let's see. Just Amanda, one of my friends cheated on her husband, and rather I just ended the friendship. I couldn't handle the pressure, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's what happened with Brett and I. We stopped being friends. And it was primarily because of that relationship. It was because I didn't want to associate with someone that's like a womanizer or a player like that. And number two, I also didn't want to associate with Brett because his woman was controlling him and didn't allow him to spend any time with myself or his other friends anymore. So there was no point, right? I lost respect for him because he lost respect for himself. He turned in his balls. And that just, that just changed things, That's funny, AF says ODN. ODN, she talked to you and you didn't say anything to her. You told the dude it was messing with your personal life by her getting a hold of you. I respect that. Yeah, dude. I was in my early 30s. He was my best friend, dude. We were friends since high school. We had been friends Shit, man. God, how old was I? 16? For like 16, 17 years, we were friends. Yeah, dude, like, I could have told her initially that I know he's cheating, but I just, I didn't want to intervene, right? But I did tell him, I'm like, dude, you gotta stop doing this, or let her know at some point, because I don't want her to keep calling me. And back then, you couldn't block numbers back then, right? So I didn't want her to keep calling me, and if she kept calling me and I didn't pick up or return her call, then she would know. So it's like I felt like I was like trapped in the middle. I felt like I just felt shitty. I just was not in a good position. But at the same time, I didn't intervene. I didn't get in the way of whatever they had, no matter how weird it started off. Now, interestingly enough, we parted ways when I was about 33 or 34, something like that. And this is the same dude. Well, no, I'm not going to mention that because I'm not talking about family at this point. This dude is still with this woman to this day. What ended up happening was she broke up with him, and for the next 3 weeks, he bought her a dozen extra long stem red roses and drove them to her work and put them on her car. I've never seen, man, I mean, I've done similar stuff like that, but not for like 3 weeks straight. I've done it for 2 or 3 or 4 days, like getting an ex flowers in my 20s. And the shit didn't work for me. But unbelievably, after like 21 days of getting her a dozen extra long stem red roses and driving them to her work and putting them on her car, well, over the weekend she would go put them on her car at her place and then drive home. She called them and they started to work things out. And then after a month or so, she forgave him and took him back. Then a few years later after that, they ended up getting married. And they're still married to this day. They thought about divorce. My brother keeps up with them. They thought about divorce, but they're still together to this day. But the moral of the story is, sometimes, well, number one, you never intervene as a man. You never intervene in another man's relationship, right? You never intervene between him and his woman. But number two, like just Amanda was saying, I had to get rid of a friendship like that. Absolutely. I ended my friendship with Brett not because I wanted to, because it just didn't feel right anymore. I just lost respect for him. I didn't want to be around such negativity. I didn't want to be around and have to walk on eggshells, right? It's a really shitty feeling. Just Amanda says, Eli, what about now? Do you have women friends or no? I don't. I'm not friends with any of my exes at all. Now, other people that I'm not talking about right now, like I mentioned at the beginning of this show, I'm not going to be talking about family or my lady or other people anymore, but I will tell you, other people that I'm close to that I know are friends with some of their exes, and there's absolutely no problem. And the exes have a new relationship, just like they do, and it's all good. I think what matters the most are the individuals involved. Because, look, if you're a mature person and you had an ex, you broke up with them, and you both really weren't bad people, it just wasn't meant to be, there's nothing wrong with maintaining the friendship if you can. As long as it's totally platonic. And here's the thing. You'll know if it's platonic if you remain friends with an ex. You'll know it's platonic if you're not spending a whole lot of time on the phone or hanging out. Typically, people will maintain phone and email relationships with their exes. Maybe they share pets. Maybe they have custody. They share kids. They're or maybe they were just good people, not meant to be together, right? You will know if someone remains friends with an ex. You'll know they're crossing the line because they'll end up spending more time with them than with you. And if that's not happening, then there's no problem. You can tell. You can tell when it's okay to be friends with somebody or not. Or for your spouse to be friends with somebody or not. Just Amanda, that is crazy. She is still with him. Well, that's on her. Well, she's insecure, and she's probably still very insecure. And I'm not trying to be critical, but she was very overweight. She was very unattractive. And so she settled for him. Look, if she could do better, you don't think she would do better? I'm not trying to criticize my former friend, but he wasn't the most attractive guy himself. I'm just keeping it real. But again, I'm not here to judge on your looks. I'm just sharing why this shit happens, right? Like attracts like, right? People that struggle to find true love and happiness struggle for many reasons. It could be their personality. It could be, they're not taking care of themselves physically. Like, you got to take care of yourself. And to attract a good person, you've got to be appealing mentally, emotionally, and as physically as possible. You don't have to be perfect physically, but at least make an effort to stay in somewhat reasonable shape, right? Oh, Deanne, you don't make it your prerogative to make other people's business yours. Only drama queens do that. That's true. That's why I'm saying men that intervene in other men's relationships are drama queens. They're BITCH made, ODN. You know what BITCH made is? We know a bunch of men that are BITCH made, right? She must be very needy. Jeez, I wouldn't trust that guy. Oh, she was extremely needy. When I knew her in my early to mid 30s, Tia, she was extremely needy. And listen, I don't wish her or my friend Brett any harm. Like, I wish them nothing but the best. I wish everyone the best. I'm just saying, like I said yesterday on the stream, what goes around comes around. What you put out, you get back. It all boils down to the same shit at the end of the day. What you put out, you get back, right? How you treat people is how they're going to treat you, right? This dude, when he got caught cheating, he started to miss her. She got rid of him, and it took her catching him to cheat and getting rid of him for him to get rid of all the other women. And then he started chasing her, which is a big, big, big no-no. I would not have chased her at all. It actually worked for him. But that just goes to show how much more needy she is. Like any other woman, for the most part, if a guy chased that hard, especially after cheating, they would be like, this is a weak man. Like, he just won't give me time and space. He's just trying way too hard to get me back. Like, I lost so much respect for him. I'm like, wow, I made some dumb mistakes in my 20s and my teens, buying lots of flowers and shit for women. Don't get me wrong, you get flowers every now and then, that's not bad. But I would do it like 2 or 3 or 4 days in a row at times. He did it 21 days straight after getting caught cheating. And she took him back. I was like, wow. I have seen it all. I have seen it all. Okay. Well, that dude was walking down the center of the path. So I moved up to the side. I'm like, I figured I'm on the right side. He's gonna pass on the left, but he was walking right down the center. Anyway. Negative people always leech off others and can't stop obsessing. Just a man, the Tia, I would not either, but to each his own. Yeah, ODN says it's good to stay healthy and not sit inside and talk to your computer all day. All subliminal messages, ODN. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's okay, ODN. I'll make a brief statement here, subliminally, but they'll get the hint. Just because I haven't filed copyright strikes on a few certain people yet, doesn't mean they're not coming sooner than you think. Now, they're going to have an opportunity to delete their content, right? Or move it to Rumble, per se, because that's what's going on. That's all good. They can do what they want to do, and they can play at their own risk. I got my own stuff to deal with. It's all good. We're doing great over here. We've got our good core people, and we're building off of that. And that's all that matters. So I understand your underlying message there, ODN. It's all good, bro. It's all good. It's not a big deal. I could talk about the sky being green. Right? Or the sky being red or whatever, or the sky being purple or whatever, right? It wouldn't change a thing. I could do an ASMR quiet walk. Maybe I should do that. I should do an ASMR walk where I say very little for like an hour and a half. And that's fine. We can see what happens at that point, right? I bet he would still be there sitting in that chair. Say something, damn it! It's all good. Just know, DN, I got things handled. I've taken care of a lot of things behind the scenes, and it's all good, dude. It's not a big deal. Dude, it's just their way of trying to make themselves feel better about themselves. It's sick. Of course, they're all projecting, and then they're saying, I'm the one projecting, right? I'm sure, ODN, you've seen what's happened over the last 24 to 48 hours. All right, I've kind of skimmed through some things. I don't have time to watch 2+ hour drama shit shows on me, right? About stuff that is either extremely out of context and highly exaggerated or completely false, right? I don't have time to watch that, dude. But again, ODN, as long as there are people that keep paying for it, whether they know it's real or not, that's all that matters. Even if these people can make 20 or 30 or 50 bucks doing this over the weekend, yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is, dude. Yeah, and we've started to grow this audience to about 30 people, even while other things are happening at the same time. So it's all good, man. It's all good. TS says, it's all wash, rinse, repeat. Of course. ODN says some people are just possessed by angry super demons and will yell at their computer screens in jealousy. Jealous of what, dude? I'm just curious to ask you, ODN, respectfully, right? And professionally. Jealous of what? Like, I respect what you're saying, dude. But I'm not trying to be any better than anyone else. I've never, ever wanted to be that way or tried to be that way. So I'm just wondering, in your head, what would people be jealous of me for? Because I'm a humble person, and I'm just trying to help people, uplift them, and empower them, empower them, right? I'm also trying to help the women's group behind the scenes has been doing very well. It's been a great thing for the ladies, and we'll be adding some more trusted ladies in there soon. But, women's groups are important nowadays, and we even need a special man's group too. I'm working on that too. We're going to have a men's group, and we already have a women's group. And we're going to have forums on the GNA website. There's just a lot of good stuff coming, man. I got to put it all together. Yeah, but you want to know, Tia, the wash, rinse, repeat. You would think, okay, Tia, here's the thing. When I watch a movie for the first time, it's the most exciting thing. I can watch that movie maybe 2 or 3 or 4 more times, and it would be somewhat exciting. But after the 5th time, it gets redundant. And, like, I wouldn't waste energy watching it again. I don't understand how people have not gotten tired of hearing the same shit like hundreds of times over the years. and they still pay money for it. Like, that's the most surreal thing, and that's what keeps it going. But I don't get it. And if these people don't care how boring it is and they just want to stick it to me, maybe that's what they're paying for. And if that's the case, then these people will scrape up every last penny possible. It's a hilarious thing. It's just a really sad, pathetic thing, right? Odian says, well, I know one person jealous of the fact that you actually went out and organized professional networking events, and they are far more active than them. They're upset you look younger than them. LOL. Well, that's your opinion. I appreciate it, dude. I do the best I can with what I've got. Just the man says, I personally think you are entertaining. Really? What makes you feel I'm entertaining, Amanda? Is it my speaking skills or my presentation style? Is it because I can share a story and teach a lesson and not be boring about it? I'm curious. Like, I'm asking you respectfully because I really appreciate everything you've said since you've been around lately, and I'm curious to hear more of your thoughts. All right, folks, we're about to hop off the trail. We did 3.5 miles today. Give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, we are back live. ODN says they know you are more enthusiastic and charming, so they steal your content. You're more normal than them, and they can't stand it. Just Amanda says you have interesting stories, and you have a good sense of humor from what I've seen. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot, just Amanda and ODN, and same to you, Tia. And Raleigh, if you're still around, appreciate you too. And Tia, thank you for continuing to be a channel member while we figure out what we're going to do with the content. I think what we might do is maybe we might do some eventually down the road we may do members only content only with Dawn, but that probably won't be till the new year. But we'll figure it out. I'll get some other members only content coming soon. TS is right. That says to me they are very simple-minded. I love challenges. I challenge myself all the time. I question their motivation in life. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. At the end of the day, you're only going to be able to sustain something for so long. Like, think about it. This has been going on for 6 years. And will it go on another 2 years, 4 years? Do I think it will survive that long? I doubt it. Do I think they're going to continue to do the same thing until every last penny of money stops coming in? Absolutely. They're scraping right now. They're scraping every last bit they can. And then once no money comes in for it, or the audience doesn't want it at all, then it's not going to matter. And here's the truth of the matter is, it never really mattered in the first place. It's just what's made money. That's all it is. That's all it boils down to. Nobody gives a shit about someone I'm not talking about right now. Nobody gives a shit about me over there. Nobody cares about anything besides what can line their pocketbooks. What can they feed the audience that's going to line their pocketbooks? Period. And a story. That's all it is. So all these people talk about is money. How much money have you made, Eli? I made this. I don't give a fuck how much you made. I don't care how much you make. I don't give a shit about what you do. But you care about how much I make. You care about when I piss every day, when I shit every day. You care about when I drive every day. You care about, you know, if I fart. Like it's just it's just a weird thing. But that's okay. It's okay. We're handling stuff behind the scenes. I had a lot of stuff to file over the last several days. And there's even more. Now it's time to get away from the soccer accounts and start, with the main accounts. It's all good. I mean, I'm trying to fairly warn as much as I can. Like, I don't know how much more honest and fair I can be with my warnings that I'm going to continue taking people down for copyright. And that goes for everyone. And if you want to, play with fire and risk keeping shit up, that's on you. If you're going to keep stuff up, then all you want to do is continue to try and antagonize me, and that's not going to antagonize me to do shit. I'm just going to take it down anyway. I don't mean any harm towards anyone. Odin, they need to feel validated, so they look for your acknowledgement. Well, I mean, here's the thing. If that's the case, ODN, which that may very well be the case, if they need my validation, I have no problem giving anyone my validation. I wish everyone nothing but the best, including them. So take my validation and go do something productive with it instead of focusing all your time and energy on me. Because soon it's not going to matter. How many of you would like to see me do a late night show on the main channel live tonight? When I mean late night, I mean maybe around 10 or 11. And that way I can take down anyone that's copycatting. I can file takedown notices from the studio computer very easily. Yes, late night. Hi, Eli and friends. Hey, Revelations, how you doing? ODN says they think they are some kind of mob bosses when they are weird cowards. It's more so the ladies that have been coming at me than that one dude. And it's just a gossip group is what it is. Women like to gossip. Like men discuss, women gossip. It's the truth. I'm sorry, Tia. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. There's an exception to every rule, okay? But look, you've got shows like The View. You've got all these, daytime shows with women just gossiping about the most dumb shit. ODN. And these women make tons of money gossiping about dumb shit on daytime television. I just don't know what to say, man. I don't know. Should I pretend to be dumb and then I'll be more popular and make more money? Like what am I supposed to do? Do I stoop down to the level of all these people, including the people in the mainstream media, and pretend to be a dumb shit to make more money? There's sunlight out right now, so look at this with the sunlight. They are a bunch of weird chicken heads, dude. Tia, no, I get it. I always got along better with men. I couldn't stand the pettiness. Sounds great, says just Amanda. Make sure to subscribe to the main channel. GNA, Genuine Personal Development. I've been going. I haven't done a live stream there in about 2 or 3 weeks, but I've been. I'm going to be going live there more often now. Again, on top of the walking streams, because I want to get a little more content on the main channel. I haven't had time to put out pre-recorded videos. That's the pre-recorded video channel, but I've been doing streams there for a little bit because if you don't make content for 6 months, then they remove you from the YouTube Partner Program for inactivity. So I want to get maybe like 10 to 20 more streams, 10 to 15 more streams on there over the next month or month and a half. And then I'll move those in-studio streams back to GNA2 over here where the walking streams are at and just go fully pre-recorded on that channel. Oh, Deanne, I can't read what you wrote. This whole P. Diddy thing is pretty serious, huh? All the streaming services are coming out with specials on P. Diddy, formerly known as Puff Daddy, right? Sean Combs, right? Revelations is laughing. That was pretty funny, ODN. It was. Revelations, yes. Dumb it down a little bit, then come back with brilliance. LOL. $10 or $11 Pacific. Yeah, Tia. 10 or $11 Pacific. It'll probably be too late for you, Tia. Yeah, probably like, it might be as soon as 9, but probably more so 10 or 11 Pacific. Yeah. I'll see how I feel. More than likely, I'll get a stream going over there. It's been a little while. Yeah, also a lot of people are, not just with this group, but a lot of people on YouTube are moving a lot of their content over to Rumble because of copyright issues and other issues, right? Because it's a little bit easier to get away with copyright issues on Rumble, but Rumble will still take you down. I took an entire Rumble channel down. DBD's channel was taken down by me on Rumble because he was rebroadcasting my members only streams. And so, yeah, no, I'm in progress of reporting all those channels that are using my content on Rumble. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. So that's okay. I mean, I give fair warning. I don't have to give fair warning. I don't want to harm anyone. You know, I'm just saying, hey, look. Don't come crying at me for being taken down even on Rumble when you've been warned that you're going to be reported. Like, I can't be any nicer of a guy than I already am. Right? I really wish, I'm going to go around one more time. I really wish you folks would grow up and be a little more mature and do the right thing initially, but you don't. You push the boundaries because that's the only way you get attention. That's it. So any chance I get to take anything that you use of mine down for copyright, no matter who you are, I'm going to do that. And I have been doing that. Another channel went down yesterday. Took 4 copyright strikes, but another channel went down yesterday. This channel was using content of mine that's been private on my main channel for over 3 years. So this is somebody from the past that's downloaded a lot of my content. So it narrows it down to about 4 or 5 people that I know have downloaded my content. You know, some dude by the name of Kit, not his real name. Kit C, right? I'm not going to say the full last name, even though it's a fake account. So now they created Kit C2. So, Mr. Kit, I know you're watching me, and you're one of the people that knows me. Maybe you're Joe Buddy. Maybe you're Trim Hits. I don't know. Maybe you're somebody even more known than I would think. So I'll be keeping an eye on you, dude, and I will continue to take you down for copyright every moment I get, whether you use my audio or video, right? Now, if you just make pictures of me and memes and these fucking shitty things called gnomes, right? Then I'll just laugh and you can have that. I'll probably flag it for bullying and take a chance. Maybe they'll take it down. Who knows? But you want to go toe to toe with me, Kit? You know, you're for all I know, you could be the millennial guy, or one of the people that's close to him. Because all of you, the people that know me the longest have all my content from years ago. Because a lot of the stuff that's been used has been put to private. And see, Mr. Kit, you don't understand that when you used my video, you know, when I was singing Hard Habit to Break to my ex when she broke up with me, do you not understand? You know I have a channel where I re-uploaded every single piece of content from my former channel. So I flagged you down for that. They took it down. So I've got everything copyright protected, Kit. So, I mean, dude, I should not even be wasting my time talking with you, but I'm also laughing at you because do you not have anything more productive to do with your time? See, it leads me to believe that if you're going to waste that amount of time to create that content, then it's got to be maybe one of 2 or 3 people that have had all the time in the world. Hang on, let me get into some shade over here. Yeah, Kit, I'm also going to be flagging down your Rumble channel. I'm watching it. And Kit, I haven't seen ODN's messages, but Kit, you're the one that's been re-uploading all of ODN's live streams. So you must have like a grabber every time he goes live. So you're that obsessed with like setting up a grabber to grab streams as they happen live so you can put them back out there? Like, dude, do you not have anything better to do with your time? Like, how pathetic are you, dude? They do so many privacy flags on videos about them, but think it's okay for them to use your content. They dish it out, but can't take it. Contact me behind the scenes. I know who it is, and it's a footstool who wants. Oh, so it's Mr. Oh, it's Mr. Honest, huh? Oh, cause he uses the word cucky, so it's Mr. Honest. It's BH. Come on, ODN. I don't know how to contact you behind the scenes. You don't have your Facebook anymore. It's Bill. It's Bill. They share stuff. Of course they do, man. So this is Bill. It's the honest guy, the BH guy. Bill from the BH channel. Come on, ODN. Confirm it because he puts cucky. He's the only one that calls me cucky. So, Bill, BH, who got demonetized on YouTube for using my reused content. Go fucking figure, right? So, he's the Kit channel, the Kit C channel. He is an aggravation. He's mentally ill. He's mentally ill, and Mr. Millennial dude just preys on these people. Like they all those people, like the Millennial dude and a few other creators that create at the top with him. They use those people as patsies. Like BH, you're a patsy, dude. So let me guess. So then Mr. Millennial guy or one of the other people that's been around for a while creating content sent Bill my older privated content. So Bill was thinking, okay, well, this is no longer on his channel. I'll just use it. No, it's on private, bro, and I'm still going to flag you for it. Just because you don't see it out there, bro, doesn't mean I don't have it uploaded somewhere with copyright protection. I do. And I'll take you down every time. And you can laugh all you want. You can sit there and spin it any way you want, dude. And I'll talk about it because it's comical. I'm laughing at it right now. I'm massively laughing in your face, dude, because I'm gonna keep taking you down. ODN, can you confirm that the Kit C channel, the guy that's been re-uploading your content too, and he uses your full name on another account on Rumble. It's that Bill guy, right? It's the Be Honest guy, the Brutally honest guy. Just confirm it, dude, because I thought it was him too because of the way that he writes stuff. That's pathetic, man. That's pathetic, dude. That's absolutely pathetic, man. I believe there is more than just one person, and one of those people you have said not to mention. Oh, of course. Of course, they're all involved. Of course they are. They're all involved, and it's all just it's they just want to have another place to promote the main channels to incite the donations. Like the sock channels are just places they could put the stuff that is more likely to be flagged down. And in the meantime, they can use community walls there to promote their main channels when they go live to get donations. It's like a complete system. Wow, lather, rinse, repeat. One hell, wow, all that work for a few bucks, right? That seems like a lot of work. It seems like you have to dedicate all day, every day, Monday through Sunday to do this. Wow, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it? It's more than one person they are doing it for. Of course they're doing it for the millennial guy. And no, I'm not jealous of the millennial guy. I'm not jealous of anyone. I don't use any of your If I was jealous of any of you people, I'd be using your content on different platforms and pulling people there and making money off your name there. I don't do that. I don't use any of your content because your content is garbage. All it is recycled shit. Even though you folks are more than capable of doing something real, you choose not to, right? Choose not to. Anyway, I got to get going. If you missed the first part of the show, go back, watch the replay. I mentioned a few things about certain things I will not be talking about. Certain family members and stuff I won't be talking about. Go back and check it out. With that being said, thank you to everyone for being here. Have a good one. Take care, and as always, be good to each other. ODN, I think they get... Okay, I don't need to read that. I'm out.